Smackdown Hot Takes, where I take your thoughts, your opinions, your hot takes from the previous episode of Smackdown Raw and or PLE Saturday Night Main Event and Tribute with the Troops if that ever comes back. So our first one is from Raphael Adiai. We got Cody is slowly proving Kevin right. The Homelander crash out will be insane. Yeah, you know what? Kevin made some good points tonight. He comes down and he says, Cody, you go back and you help Roman Reigns. I was hurting Roman, and why did you help him on Raw? And the moment you help him, what does he do? He comes out and says, not thank you, but I'm going to enter the Royal Rumble to take your belt. And it's like, you know what? Valid. He helped Roman, and Roman, not even a thank you. Another point from Raphael, the Temu Bloodline without Solo is even more entertaining to watch. They're not the Temu Bloodline. They're at least the Target Bloodline at this point. I think they've proven themselves well enough to get away from Temu. Let's call them the Target Bloodline now. But yeah, they were very entertaining. Glad they're putting Jacob into the U.S. division to test the waters. I love you, Jacob! I wouldn't mind. At this point, I wouldn't mind if Jacob does get a U.S. title run. But let me tell you something. If he gets that U.S. title run, he needs to hold on to it forever because I also love Jacob. And then the SmackDown tag teams are making the most of the 3-hour show. But where are the Street Profits? Let me ask that question again because yes, where are the Street Profits? Give me a break. Give me a break. If now we have 3-hour shows, and I love Pretty Deadly, don't get me wrong, but if we're going to give Pretty Deadly more time than the Street Profits, that's a crime. That is a crime. The Street Profits, I don't want to get too overworked about this, but the Street Profits are awesome, and they weren't even featured. Give me a freaking break. Unless they're being transferred, unless I see them on Raw this week and they were just transferred, there's no reason to not be showing the Street Profits right now. Gaming with R_123, I have a sense that Jacob is going to betray Solo Sikoa now. Well, there was a moment where he was about to say, I love you! He was like on the turnbuckles on top of it, about to beat someone in the face, but then he was interrupted. Was he about to say, I love you, Solo? Because it's like, I don't know, maybe he does love Solo, but he still has to turn on him because, in Solo's words, losing has consequences. And does Jacob feel he has to turn on Solo even if he loves him? We will see next week when Solo returns. Yanel Rise, sorry if I got your name wrong. Why is Solo's bloodline going after Roman Reigns' bloodline? He's the tribal chief. That's a good question. Solo said that he would acknowledge Roman if Roman had the Ulafala fair and square. Roman won. So why is Solo bloodline still going unless has Jacob and now Tama Tonga gone rogue? Does Jacob Fatu still love Solo but has to do what he has to do because he can't stand the sight of Roman's bloodline? Maybe the fact that Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga were on the outs of the family so long that they're afraid if they don't keep attacking, then they will not have a place in the current WWE. But yeah, I don't know. Donatello Leonardo, I like how they actually protected LA Knight in the loss last night. I still can't figure out why they had not done that in Survivor Series. Kind of basically saying that Shinsuke Nakamura, he beat LA Knight totally clean when, Shinsuke's a heel. So to protect LA Knight, all you had to do was, spit mist in his face, pull the tights, do something, foot on the ropes, do something to protect LA Knight. They didn't when he lost, but they did do it here in that it was a disqualification. So LA Knight protected. Also, Jacob is not being booked strong enough, in my opinion. He's too good of a talent to just look like another upper mid-card muscle. I think they're starting to pull him away from the muscle of someone else, and he's about to be on his own. We shall see. Tonight he was definitely acting on his own, so I don't know. I think they do need to keep him out of the main event for just a little bit longer. I do worry about just having the U.S. title. It just doesn't seem like, I don't know where to put Jacob. Does he go into the main event and the main event is so stacked? I think he would just lose. But does he stay in the upper mid card? And who's going to beat him if it's hard. Jacob Fatu is a definite hard one to book. Maybe Roman should reach out to him and get him on his side because I don't know if Jacob is ready to be alone right now. Honestly, I don't think he was Solo Sikoa's muscle tonight. I think this was Jacob Fatu actually being his own man tonight. I don't know if he was doing it for Solo or if he was doing it for himself. We shall see. All we know is that Jacob Fatu wouldn't be in the WWE if it wasn't for Solo reaching out to him. But since Solo has said, well, you know what? I got to acknowledge Roman. What if Jacob is afraid that Solo will kind of just go back with Roman, and then him and Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are going to be, they have nowhere to go, so now Jacob has to start making some moves by himself. I don't know, maybe that's what's going on with Jacob, but he was not anybody's muscles tonight. He was his own man. We'll see next week, though. Ducky Devon, I believe it's Ducky Devon, there's a couple X's in the name, but the Street Profits should be the ones to dethrone DIY. They have been putting in so much work in the tag team, and I really think they deserve a run at the top for a while. If not, they should break up the Profits so Ford can go to the U.S. title picture. Ford versus Mello. He would love that feud, or they would love that feud. And yeah, Street Profits, again, like, it's a glaring omission that the Street Profits are not being used more. Unless they're going to Raw to help that division out, then yeah. And I think that would be a bad choice anyways, because I think the New Day actually should be the ones going for the titles on Raw, and the Street Profits should be the ones. The Street Profits could be a cornerstone of your tag team division, and I get why we'd want to break up the team so Ford can go and be a megastar that he's destined to be, but I think they still have a little more legs as a tag team. Damian King, I miss Randy Orton. KO will pay for this. I think you'll get Randy Orton. I bet it happens at Royal Rumble. I could see him actually even interfering in the ladder match, but at the very least, he will be an entrance in the Rumble. I bet it's going to be Randy versus KO at WrestleMania. KB, these Motor City Machine Guns people are overrated. In my Kofi voice, so what? Y'all been around 20 years and still didn't win a title. Y'all jumped the line for the titles. Again, where are the Street Profits? WTF is going on, Triple H. Eyeball emojis and a shrug emoji. Valid. Triple H, where are the Street Profits? We are noticing people are like, come on, dude, the Street Profits, they have so much talent, man. They should be the ones cutting the lines. They shouldn't even have to cut the lines. They should be front and center of the line to get the titles. The Street Profits are just, I'm a broken record, and I don't care. The Street Profits are amazing. The Motor City Machine Guns, it was an experiment. I'm okay with experiments of just, okay, let's see what happens if we just instantly hotshot a tag team. It was an experiment, but I don't think it was a successful experiment. They are getting pops from the crowd, but I think it would have been just way cooler if we had this grizzled 20-year tag team veterans come in and say, we finally made it to the WWE. Can we make it to the top? They could have had a year-long journey trying to get these titles. That would have been so much better than hot-shotting them in their third week. They did cut the line, and it was an experiment, but I did not connect with your experiment. The Smartest Idiot. I see where they might be going with the Bloodline story right now, and the invasion of the Thug Line without Solo might bring in Hikuleo and Tonga Loa when cleared. I think either Jacob or Rock would be the new tribal contender with their own bloodline. I think this might cook, not gonna lie. I would have loved Jacob Fatu taking over the bloodline a couple months ago, but right now, I don't think it's time. Roman just became the acknowledged only tribal chief. If The Rock isn't the one to take over the Bloodline 2.0, then I just think they should disband. I don't think there should be a Bloodline 3.0 unless it's led by The Rock or Jey Uso. Otherwise, it would be even less. Jacob Fatu would lead an even less. I'd rather Jacob just go solo, go rogue. With Jacob going rogue, maybe he can get his first title, and maybe you boys and girls can get your first title as well from Wrestle Chop. All you gotta do to win this title right here is beat me in a steel cage match, an old school blue steel cage match, and it's gonna be first blood, and you're gonna bleed. No, all you gotta do actually is just comment below and be a subscriber to the channel. Hit the bell notification, and if you're so kind, give a thumbs up. I am trying to quit my day job, and in the process, I'm gonna give a belt away at every 10,000 subscribers. So that means on the path to 100,000 subscribers, I'm giving away 10 of these replica not toys, belts. All right, so next hot take. Candy Marmain, the Bloodline storyline must end. Roman won the Ula Father, the new Bloodline looking like fools, especially Solo. You know, I actually love Solo Sikoa and his bloodline. I think the reason more people didn't love it is because there weren't backstage vignettes to flesh out the characters. We never really got to know why we should love Tama Tonga other than these few instances of him just being weird. yeah. You know, it's weird and we came to love that, but we never really we don't know what's going on in the dude's head. Jacob Fatu, we know he loves Solo, but what else? Tunga Loa, we know he's the greatest wrestler of all time, but we would like to know what motivates Tunga Loa. And so I know a lot of people just always felt that the Bloodline 2.0 never had a chance. I really do think they had a chance, but the storyline does call for it to end now. Roman did get his Ula Fala back, and so, yeah, it's time. They wrote themselves into a corner. It's time to move on. But then again, I thought Solo was done after Bad Blood, and, well, he got better, so let's see. Let's see what happens. Candy Marmain again. Cody proves once again he needs the Bloodline to stay relevant. I don't agree with that. I think the KO feud is making him, like, very relevant. He just needs really good feuds. His Joker to his Batman is the Bloodline. That does make him very relevant. But guess what? You know what? Sting, back in the day, you could say, well, Sting just needed the NWO to be relevant. No, he didn't. He had a lot of good feuds without him, but we all remember the Sting NWO feud. So, you know what? For Cody to be having to feud with the Bloodline to be really interesting, I'm okay with that, as long as he has other feuds that are also interesting. Up until now, he really hasn't had any, but right now he has KO, so let's see what happens. KB, now you booked Nia Strong? Laughing faced emojis, 3 of them. Now, really? Shrug. Where was this during her reign? 7-time loser as champion. 7-time loser since October 11th. 7-time loser in a matter of 2.5 months. So yeah, what the heck? She looked amazing tonight. This is how you book Nia Jax, and yet she lost 7 times. Like, I don't understand it. Why, like, are you regretting giving Tiffy the belt? Are you regretting making Nia look so weak? Because tonight was how you book Nia. The last 2.5 months, not how you book Nia. Why now? I agree with you, KB. Donatello Leonardo, Corey Graves is sorely missed as a heel commentator. Bishop Marley is right. A comment they probably made in the live chat. A 3-man booth of Cole and McAfee would be fire with Corey Graves. So Corey Graves was just sent down to NXT as a commentator, which is surprising because for a minute, Corey Graves was a lead announcer on Smackdown, but they changed everything up because they wanted Pat McAfee and Cole on Raw, and then they wanted, well, that just changed everything. So I don't think it's a demotion for Corey Graves, but you know what? I wouldn't mind a 3-man booth. I wouldn't mind a 3-man booth with Cole and McAfee. Let's go with it. I do miss the heel announcer. And if it doesn't work, back to the original plan. Yeah, I hope they don't get rid of Booker T, though. Booker T he's very unique as a commentator, and I really enjoy him. Jay and Love, outside of the opening segment, SmackDown was very boring to me. I know WWE is trying to give everyone time on TV, but as of now, it's just not working for me. I think what's not working is the 3-hour longness of it. Not only do you have 3 hours of SmackDown, but now you got 3 hours of Raw, too. That's 6 hours of TV, WWE TV, not including if you watch other wrestling programs, or there's a Saturday Night Main Event, or a PLE. So it's just a lot. It really is. I'm very happy teams like Pretty Deadly are getting airtime, but I'm with you. The opening segment was awesome, and everything else was like hit or miss. It was definitely hit or miss. There were high moments. I love Jacob Fatu when he did his interview and stuff. But yeah, just the 3 hours, I'm not feeling it just yet, but I think we'll get there. There are positives, but we aren't fully there. I'm with you, Jay and Love. Becky Devon, again. First time watching the live stream yesterday as well. Fatal 4-Way was surprisingly really good. Yeah, that was a really good women's Fatal 4-Way, or men's Fatal, just a Fatal 4-Way in general was really good. Nia looked actually strong. Again, why now? Was very entertaining watching everyone break up their pins, and looking forward to see Tiffany go against Bayley. I think Bayley was the right choice. I'm glad that Bianca did not take the pin, and that Bianca did not win. I want her record to be almost perfect. I want when somebody beats Bianca, it's almost like an elevation of the other person, because Bianca needs to remain very, very strong. She needs to remain very, very strong. So I think I hated that Naomi took the pin, because Naomi seems to be stepping up as well, but Bayley is a very good first challenger for Tiffany Stratton, because Bayley can eat a loss and yet it will elevate Tiffany, saying, hey, I just beat Bayley. Perfect choice right here. I'm not a huge Bayley fan, but I do understand her importance to the women's division and how it will make Tiffany look even better. That's what they need to do. They need to really throw all their support behind Tiffany right now. TTJC, I need a new WWE champion. I would rather see Roman versus KO, Jacob, Randy, Cena, Hack, Gunther over Cody. Man, a lot of people are not liking Cody. I'm still okay with Cody. I'm still really hoping I get that Cody Rock feud. Man, those two cooked it last year. But I wish they were making Gunther stronger. Honestly, if they just were just making Gunther stronger, we wouldn't have this problem. It seems like right now we only have one champion, and there's too many people against Cody right now. But if Gunther was holding that title with more prestige, like when Seth Rollins had it, we could spread the blame and interest in with the world title. Donatello Leonardo, Cody willingly used a chair to beat KO, and now he just hung his tag team partner out to dry over a selfish pursuit. These are not babyface actions. That's right. He did just kind of leave Jimmy Uso to the Bloodline, as he's like, you know what? I got my own problems to deal with. Sorry, Jimmy. He abandoned Jimmy. He did abandon Jimmy, and then he lost. So technically, Tama Tonga has a win over Cody Rhodes. Tama Tonga for world champion. We'll see. Maybe TTJC. Would you rather Tama Tonga get the title? But Donatello Leonardo, you're right. Maybe slowly, very slowly, Cody is turning to the dark side. NY Buddy. First off, if Goldberg thing is true, only a Smackdown guy can win the Rumble, which takes a dump on the roster again. All right, I don't know what you're referring to other than Goldberg. He has one match left in his career, and they're kind of saying that it could be against Gunther, because they have kind of teased a program with Gunther. And honestly, even if it is Gunther, I don't think Gunther holds the title until Mania. So I don't think you have to worry about Goldberg winning the title. But if he did, I would agree that would be a big, massive dump on the entire roster. I really hope Goldberg does not win the world title or beats anybody, honestly. I want Goldberg just done. I know there's a lot of Goldberg fans out there. I'm sorry, but I will never be. This channel is 100% against Goldberg winning a match ever again. But if you want Goldberg to win, good on you. Bad on you. He shouldn't win. Second, if Reigns wins the Rumble and it's Cody versus Roman 3, the match can F off. How do you really feel about these part-timers? Yeah. I don't know. It's looking like it might be Cody Roman 3, so we shall see. We'll know. Will Roman win and then point at Cody at Rumble, just like last year? Ugh. Third, I'm supposed to believe Roman can somehow dominate everyone in the ring when he's had his posse for 4 years straight, and the fact that Solo bodied him the whole match on Raw? Yeah, basically saying, Roman Reigns, he was nothing without his bloodline. Well, I guess we'll see how he is now, because now that he's tribal chief and there's no bloodline to contend with, I think that he's just going to tell everybody to be your own man, and he's not going to have a bloodline backing him up anymore. Demon King, my newest hot take, which isn't really a hot take, is it sucks being a chef because I never get to watch Smackdown anymore. All right, so Demon King's a chef, and yeah, it sucks. It definitely sucks. That's why I'm trying to quit my day job so I can do wrestling content full time. And I get you, chef. Maybe wrestling, being a YouTuber isn't really for you, but it does suck that you have to work on your job. But I'm sorry for that. Thankfully, we live in a world with YouTube where we can catch up the highlights, because I'll tell you what, back in my day, if you missed Raw, if you missed Smackdown, well, tough luck. We didn't even have DVRs back then. I know, I'm ancient. We'd have to ride to school on our dinosaurs and ask our friends, what happened on wrestling last night? I missed it because, I don't know, we were churning butter. God is good. I think my favorite parts are Jacob and Tama fighting and Jacob cutting that awesome promo, and I like how Carmelo has aligned himself with Solo. I loved that promo with Jacob Fatu. It was so amazing. He brought in like Nightmare on Elm Street, and almost anybody else who would have done that, it would have been lame, because, Nightmare on Elm Street's not really relevant, and yet Jacob Fatu, he has such a presence and command of the room that whatever he says, you're like, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. And then Carmelo backstage kind of saying, yeah, I'm cool with Solo. That was interesting. Maybe Carmelo Hayes could be the Sami Zayn that Solo has desperately needed for his bloodline. But then again, is he breaking up his bloodline? I wonder. Or what if he just says, you know what? I guess we follow Roman Reigns now. And his bloodline is just now Roman's bloodline, but Roman says, Solo, you can be on SmackDown and run roughshod over there, and then Carmelo joins. I don't know, a lot of possibilities, because Roman does need to accept Solo back to the family now that the war is over. TTJC, Adam needs to take notes from Nick on how to handle the tag team division, basically saying Adam Pearce, his tag team division sucks on Raw, while Nick, it's cooking. And yeah, true statement. True statement. Adam needs to learn from Nick. Tiz Mickey, just what is happening with Apollo Crews? That man is walking around backstage giving people advice like Shawn Spears on NXT. Yeah, this guy he just appears and he's like, if you think that was truthful, you're an idiot. And he's done that like 3 weeks in a row now. What is Apollo Crews doing? He just gets done with catering and then just goes and stirs the pot. He's like, he's a Temu version of Karrion Kross. And the Bloodline and El Gato del Fantasma are basically the same in that they have great background characters and a leader that loses all the time. That's a pretty good statement, actually. Yeah, Solo loses a lot, and so does El Del Fantasma, but the background characters do have a lot of personality. You can see there's talent, and yet when the time comes, when the chips are down, they lose. Their leader does. Judy Angela Jetson, did we ever get an announcement about the transfer windows, about who's going between brands and when it's effect? These episodes are getting repetitive. I was hoping the Bloodline Civil War was over. Not sure why it's still going on. This episode was okay, but the 3-hour format still takes some getting used to. Agree. Not used to it yet. Thought the Bloodline, I thought it was over. The Civil War was over, but we shall see. We shall see. Next week, Solo returns. Is he rogue right now, or is he still aligned with Solo? Does Solo actually recognize Roman? And yeah, I don't know when this brand portal is going to end. It's like they bring it up every once in a while, and then they just drop it. I wish they would just, actually make a big deal of it and then move on. WWE Jobber, SmackDown was awful. I was looking forward to seeing Solo, still my tribal chief. Now I have to wait till next week. So we still have people acknowledging Solo here. Yeah, I wish they would have done it. I understand why they have to draw it out. I do understand that, but I was looking forward to hearing what he has to say. But, the show must go on. 52 weeks a year, they got to figure out how to extend our interest. Chivas, hot take, Roman is not going to win the Rumble. That I bet everybody expects Roman to win, so I'm beginning to think that Roman's not actually going to win either. So Roman, but then again, I don't know. It might be too enticing. Might be too enticing to have Roman Cody 3. But let's see what else you got to say. Roman gets eliminated. Cena wins the Chamber, so we can have Cody versus Cena. And then he wants to know, who do I think Roman's opponent's going to be? That's tough. I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes. I really think Roman's going to take it. Monster Jam Brawny, I don't like how Chelsea Green is trying to gaslight people into believing that she's an American. I actually love it. This, when a foreign heel gets the U.S. title and then starts saying that I'm more American than you, that's like a classic heel thing. You shouldn't like it. That means she's doing her job very well. You should hate her for that. And you are, so Chelsea Green is ironically doing a great job. Clout Chasing Boy, I see your hot take. This is the same hot take that you give every week. I've already addressed it. Also, you have a lot of cussing and you make fun of Triple H for his nose, for his appearance. If we're going to make fun of wrestlers, we should make fun of their storylines and not their physical appearance. And then I would also suggest maybe coming up with a different hot take, because every week I can't just say, oh, Clout Chasing Boy doesn't think that this era has any real stars. And then I'll have to just say the same thing I said in previous videos. So Clout Chasing Boy, I would love to keep your hot takes coming, but I need you to come up with another hot take, because every week it can't be Cody sucks, Cody sucks, Cody sucks, or everybody sucks in your case. Negligence, is it just me or am I getting tired of Cody Rhodes' glaze. Like every wrestler, every commentator, every manager is telling us how great he is. But this title reign proves time and time again that it's just egregious. Well, some people do like his title reign. I mean, I personally don't. I haven't really liked it up until, well, I liked it during the Bad Blood little portion, and then I liked it again when KO got involved. But there are other people who are like, this is an amazing title reign. So at the end of the day, it does all come down to opinion. But I get what you're saying. Oh, Cody Rhodes. But is that what they do with every champion? Do they just constantly just glaze their top guy no matter what because, well, he's their top guy? At the end of the day, it is like, commentators are a propaganda machine for whoever's on top because they're just trying to sell Cody Rhodes as a product. So, I don't know. I understand why the commentators would be like, oh, Cody Rhodes, he's so awesome. Boomer Leo, Cody is not the undisputed WWE World Champion because KO is holding, in some people's mind, rightfully, the double-winged heavyweight champion. And then he says that alone changes the trajectory of the storyline if acknowledged. Well, I mean, think about it like this. I'm holding this title right here, right? If I say, hey, I'm the champion, I am the undisputed champion right now, so that means Cody is not. And then I asked TTJC, can you back me up? Can you tell everybody that I'm champion? And how about Donatello Leonardo? Can you also start telling people that you recognize me as the champion? Well, suddenly, does that make me a champion? No, it doesn't. So, I mean, storyline-wise, KO's not the champion. That isn't what disputes Cody's title reign. You know what really does dispute his title reign? The world title. The fact that there's another world title in WWE, that fact alone, that's what actually disputes the undisputed title. But I will say this, I love that Kevin Owens, KO, is saying, I am the champion, and he should. He should be bringing that up, even though in reality it's just wrong, but it's hilarious, and it's funny, and it allows the heel to have a good point, but we all know if we really sit down and think about it, he can't really live and die on that hill. Tuno Tunga, I would like the new Bloodline to have their own identity. Since Solo is no longer the tribal chief, the faction should split peacefully with Jacob and Tom gunning for the tag titles and Solo chasing singles gold. I wouldn't mind for just a dispersal, as long as, they figure out how in storyline they can keep Jacob there, because technically Jacob is only there because Solo brought him in and everybody's too scared of Jacob. They wouldn't want Jacob there if it wasn't for Solo. It doesn't make sense, but it does within storyline purposes. I would rather, oh man, I don't know. I honestly, I'm just going to let your statement hang because I don't really know what I want right now. I'm kind of still deciding what happens if Solo is just Solo and Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. I don't know if I want Jacob Fatu being in the tag division. I'd rather him go for the U.S. title. But then where is Solo Sikoa? I don't know. Roman Reigns acknowledged me. Big Jim wasn't lying when he said this was going to be his year. Love to see it. Yeah, you know what? I'm surprised. Even with a broken toe, Jimmy Uso getting appearances. He is getting appearances. Now, he ate the loss today, but he's getting Solo airtime. Let's see if we can flush out that character a little more. Behind the scenes, I hear Jimmy is the funny one of the two, and yet on camera, Jay has more charisma. We need to see Jimmy. Jimmy somehow needs to really bring it out, and I think him and Carmelo Hayes are about to enter into a feud. But then again, I don't want Carmelo Hayes losing that feud, so let's see what happens. Big Jim, we got it. This is your time to shine. Let's see you shine. Jared TTG, Jacob Fatu is a pure savage, especially interrupting LA Knight and Shinsuke. Like, why? Knight had it all but one, made me so angry. And that was the purpose. He should have made you angry. So good job, Jacob Fatu. And I'll say the reason why, though, is it's kind of LA Knight's fault. LA Knight shoved him out the door earlier and said, he wasn't using his inside voice. So that was on LA Knight. LA Knight should not have done anything to Jacob Fatu, especially when he had a title match coming up. So Jacob Fatu in that instance was kind of right, but then again, LA Knight was just kind of sticking up for these security guards who, they had no chance against Jacob Fatu. And those are your SmackDown hot takes. I appreciate every single one of you joining me on the live stream, commenting your hot takes, watching this video all the way to the end. Those who watch it to the end, you're the true MVPs of the channel. Help the engagement out. I appreciate every single one of you. I see you for Monday Night Raw, the live stream, and more videos. Just more and more videos. Guys, girls, have a good day.